I think this has the possibility and maybe the opportunity to be a force in the redeeming of generational masculinity.
With God, there is always more. More love, more life, more freedom. Welcome to Zoe's Exploring More with Michael Thompson. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Our Heavenly Father has provided many delightful inns for us along our journey, but He takes great care to see that we do not mistake any of them for home." Join me and the team as we explore the kingdom together, discovering the deep truths and offering encouragement for the journey. There is always more.
Welcome, friends and allies, to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson here with Grumpy Pants SJ Jennings.
It's St. Patrick's Day today, so I'm wearing green. You wearing any green today?
It's not St. Patrick's Day. This is April.
Yes, it is. We're recording it on St.
April
Patrick's
15th.
Day. You're lucky I didn't
This
wear
is tax day.
Remember my bright green
Yeah, I do.
rugby shirt? I almost wore that one today.
Yeah, that's a special one.
Mm-hmm. It is. Whose birthday? Oh, it's Landon's birthday today, too.
Yeah, we've got a stretch of birthdays, bang, bang, on the team.
Oh, on the day we recorded this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
They know we record them in advance.
They don't think
They're
this
all
is
aware.
live?
No.
All right. Well, we will be, we were arguing earlier about the NCAA tournament, and so there'll be a champion by now.
There will be.
Yeah. You got a prediction?
Well, I went with Gonzaga just to try to mess with you.
No, you didn't. Not to mess with me. Mm-hmm. You just to throw your money away.
Yeah, well,
just.
Who's betting money? What are you talking about?
What?
I don't gamble.
Huh? I thought we had a pool or a pot.
Yeah.
Or something.
Who do you got? You got Duke going all the
Duke.
way. You gonna be obvious with that?
Yeah, I got to go with my Blue Devils.
Uh-huh.
But we were talking. Whoever comes out of that bracket. UConn,
East is tough.
Kansas, Michigan State, whoever comes out of that, and Duke, whoever comes out of that bracket, I think has a great chance. But it is so hard to follow because the portal's made it absolutely almost unpredictable.
Some would say a mess.
Yeah. I thought NC State was going to be really strong this year because they get the coach and he brings four of his kids. So it's the national championship football team was Indiana and James Madison.
Yeah.
Those players all coming together. So it's
I think they play today, March 17th, when we're recording this.
Oh, for the play-in games?
Yeah, for the first four.
Well, they're
one of the first four.
That's when they're dangerous.
They're playing
heck,
Texas.
Man. That's when they've been so dangerous. Last year they ran the ACC tournament and came in and knocked a bunch of people around. I think they got to the
eight.
The grade eight. Yeah. So
Elite Eight.
Gonzaga. So.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm one of God's favorites. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So he would
help me that way.
He would move a NCAA tournament just for you like that?
Yeah, because you're being so nasty about it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, yeah.
Smart guy. We'll see what happens.
I like Gonzaga, but they just can't seem to.
It's been a few years. They seem to have the momentum, and then
BYU's got the number one high school kid in the world. That's now their phenom. It'll be interesting. So
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. So we're gonna take a little 4-week series on the Good Man series.
Yeah, new resource we created.
Video resource that we created, and we thought it'd be a good idea to tell some stories by answering some of the questions that are in that series. So we'll be tapping into that, this is a big unveil for us. We'll get into, after we take a break, more why we created this and what we're hopeful for, and a couple other pieces that just kind of take us off into this this series on exploring more. But it does drop. What's the official? April 19th. April 19th is
just
the
a few days from the release of this podcast. Yeah,
and it'll be on our own website. It'll be on thegoodmanseries.com, thegoodmanseries.com, a video resource that guys can access doing a small group weekly, or can do their own retreat.
Yeah, weekend retreat.
And and I think we're going to take a break and break into the Good Man series. So watch this. We'll be right back on the Exploring More podcast. Men, however you arrived at the Good Man series, curious, tired, skeptical, or even hopeful, you are welcome here. This journey, it starts with an invitation to slow down, an invitation to tell your story, and most of all, an invitation to listen. Listen for what God wants to reveal. At Zoe, we believe every man is asking the question, am I a good man? And we also believe that there is real goodness in men, placed in your heart by God, and it's worth fighting for. As you watch these sessions, bring your honesty, bring your courage, bring your whole story. God has been preparing for your arrival, and He's ready to meet you here. Welcome to the Good Man series. Welcome back.
It's good, man.
That's you just waited to say that. That's really good. That's funny. It is good, man. It's good, man. Yeah, this is a series that for the last couple years, you and I have been on the road a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know the number? Like last year, I want to say, not just our major conferences.
Yeah, other places we went and visited.
18, 17?
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I felt like we were on the road from August to Thanksgiving. That's what it felt like. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were
at
gone
least two
a lot.
At least two a month. Maybe.
My Monday night group didn't see me for like 3 or 4 months.
And we were on the road because of the opportunities that we've had.
Yeah.
We have friends, alumni from the Heart of Warrior Encounter, which is actually, when this airs, it's a few days away.
Yeah, this drops just 2 days before.
Mm-hmm. And so, so we created what we called a live 4-session event called the DFG, the Dangerous for Good
Men's
Summits.
Yeah.
And
they were great.
We got to do 27 or 8 of those in the last few years. And the reason this is important is because we wanted to create a series, a tool, a resource, a weapon that we didn't have to hit the road so much, but could equip our friends, allies, and alumni, and any men's ministry.
We're hopeful for multiplication too, because we can only go on so many journeys.
That's right. So this was the answer to scale.
Yeah.
How do we take this? And this is some of Caleb's work. He's the one who's been producing, directing, and putting this together over. When did we shoot it? End of November 25.
Yeah.
So super great, shorter sessions, 30 minute
at
type.
The most. Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's a couple of them 25, 27.
What else about the format before we kind of dive in? Because I want to give it. This is a long commercial almost, but what? Yeah, the format of it. What would you say?
Yeah, man.
You worked on that a ton.
Yeah, we're just trying to facilitate it and make it easy for guys. I don't know, how long would you say it's been? I'm thinking back through my church career when it really became popular to use video teaching, right? I mean, I can go back to VHS tapes early on, but yeah, pop in a DVD and then here's the study guide that goes along with it, you know? And so that's kind of the culture now. And the videos actually the length of them has gotten shorter over the years. But we wanted to keep them short just so that the guys have time to talk. Like, I think the most important thing that we do, Michael, at Zoe is create environments and resources to foster authentic relationships. So that's what the Good Man series is designed to do. It's not really, the point is not to engage in the resource and then move on to what's next and blow through it.
Yeah.
No, the the point is to become more intimate with God and each other through this journey.
Yeah.
So you pop in the video. There's maybe some preliminaries. Turn that on. You don't pop it in.
Yeah,
anymore.
you're back in the
I'm back in the
earlier
DVDs.
Yeah,
but
streaming.
Stream it. Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, watch it. It's right there on thegoodmanseries.com, and we've
Right
got
now,
a leader guide and a journal that we've created to go along with it. So the video resource is free. The journal is as inexpensive as we could make it. It's on the website. You can see it. And it's designed to foster, like I said, intimacy with God and each other. And hopefully, after you get to the end, you move into another resource together as a group, right?
Yeah.
And we've got others that you could engage with. But
yeah,
that's a little bit of how it works.
Yeah, I agree with all that, 1,000%. The other thing that we created it for was kind of to address, I don't know if epidemic is the word, it sounds a little extreme, but crisis also sounds extreme, but I'll throw those out there. Another reason we created it was because of what we see in the masculine culture, the crisis, the epidemic of isolation, of and I'd say in that, buddy, that we're not just talking about guys that go it alone. You can be in a congregation of people. You can be an elder or deacon. I just spent 2 wonderful long days with a man who, these are even pastors. Right? Pastors can be incredibly isolated. The life that men seem to endure is very busy lives. There's production that is required of them for compensation, and then it's distribution. I mean, just to be honest, men live in some very thick responsibilities and obligations, and they don't have, and it's very challenging for them to make time for friends and friendship, and to explore more their own story and what happened to them. Everything we do, it's in this series too. What are the odds you've interpreted your life accurately, right? And how many of us are just kind of playing in this game, injured, or almost as bad, maybe worse, disoriented. So that's another reason why we wanted to make the Good Man series, was to foster an environment, like you said, for intimacy with God, which we feel like is an antidote to some of that crisis and that situation, and also there is an orientation that's required even for that intimacy. And so those are the things that are in the sessions. Those are the series, the sequence. We've been able to do this 15 some years, and have what's the Farmers commercial? We
know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Because we've seen a thing or two, and in this 15 plus years of working and walking with men and for men, these are some of the best, I would say, best components or ingredients or pieces or parts of something that can make a huge difference in a man's life. And we've seen it through the DFGs. We see it through Encounter. We see it through King Me and Heart of a Warrior. And so this is to scale something that we can. And I'm really excited about. We were on it some years ago, and I love that you are moving us to even the culture that's available on Right Now Media. And so, how many 180 some thousand churches subscribing to Right Now Media?
Oh yeah, they've got individuals. They've got over almost 2 million.
2 million
individuals using.
I thought there was a church number in there.
Yeah, there is. I just don't remember what it is.
So there's.
It's kind of like Netflix for churches.
For churches, yeah. So to have the video series be for free, the content and the workbooks to be a nominal cost, but to equip men who want to create the spaces and the environments. This is all what we feel like God was putting on our hearts to create the Good Man series for.
Yeah. Very accessible way to dig into really the core messages that we share. Yeah. And when I think about what we shared in it, we can go through the arc of the journey.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, I'd love to. And I think Landon and Caleb can drop some of these in the lower thirds, because these aren't foreign to the Exploring More podcast.
They're really not. It's all the stuff we talk about. But I would say we included it in the Good Man series, even for the guys who are familiar with what we talk about, the veterans that have been around Zoe and the things that we talk about, because, having attended and now been a part of the guide team on the Encounter weekend since 2009, and hearing these things over and over and over and over again at the weekends, God brings something new for me, out of me, frees me from something in regards to these topics every time. Yeah. Every time. So you're never, it's not like, wow, that was a great book. Let me just put it up on the shelf. I read it, and now I'm done with it. This is a journey, and it's a deepening experience of what we talk about each time.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that doesn't have, let's call it a career, that things don't change, things don't shift, things aren't different from one season to the next. I mean, we just finished, the NFL draft. It's still football. It's still football, but it's going to change things. For these I say kids, these men graduating or becoming eligible for the draft.
And it changes for the team that they're being brought to, because their presence is there. Yeah,
it changes things.
It just changes.
To say that, well, we've done that. We've been to Encounter. We've been there. Well, 2 or 3 years later, your variables are different.
You're a different you.
And
not only that.
Hate that bridge. You have an enemy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. If you think so, changing metaphors. If you think you can just change your oil and that's the only maintenance that you got to do, that's not true.
Right.
Things wear down. Things wear out. There's expiration dates, and for the veterans, the healing that you got 10 years ago, it probably is still good, and yet the enemy is not going to let you get away.
Seems like the moment that, and this can sound exhausting, right? But it seems like the moment that you stop paying attention to a certain part, right? It just, it needs maintenance. It needs attention. It needs check-in. It needs adjustment. All of those things, and it might need a deeper exploration.
I was talking with a friend not long ago about how much easier life was when his daughter was 11 and 10, now 16, 17. So your life you might still have the same job. You might still, look in the mirror and not see a whole lot different, but the variables have changed. The people in your charge, the people under your kingdom, small k, reign and rule, the people that you're trying to love and lead, their lives are changing. And you can't run the same plays that you ran when they were 8.
No.
Or 9, because they're in a different place. So I say all that to say there is an appropriate revisiting. I think it was C.S. Lewis who said, read your favorite books once a year.
Yeah.
Not that they've changed, you've changed.
That's why we've talked about it several weeks ago. I've seen Tombstone 20 times. It's one of my favorite films. I can quote a lot of it, but I see different stuff in it. Yeah. Not every time I watch it, but sometimes.
So I'm, we're hopeful that not only will this equip our friends, our allies, but that this will find men that we don't yet know, and
that's
don't yet
know
us,
absolutely.
and it be something that not only in their freshman season maybe with us, or their engagement with us, it'll be something that'll equip them to walk to walk well, to walk more intimately, and to provide that space for others. I'm probably on the team.
Sorry.
It's okay. On the team, and
you could hear that?
I did.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's my phone ringing. I thought I shut it off.
No. On the team, I might be the one who's most excited about what this could look like in a weekend retreat. This you can do this over 8 or 9 or 10 weeks.
It's going to be great.
But what I'm really excited about is somebody taking the time, Airbnb it with 4 or 5 friends, or man, get your men's ministry and be the MC, be the responders, but show these videos to 20, 30, 50 guys at a time. And I think you did a phenomenal job in the leader's guide and in the journal. Can you talk about that just a little bit about this? There's more than just the video.
Yeah, some of the additional resources. Well, the journal, I mean, Cole played a huge part in that for sure. And then you spent, I know, a number of hours refining it, and it really does take a team.
Yeah. We
have a great team. And I think our hope with the journal is to create, kind of an add-on to the resource, right? It really does augment the experience of going through the videos, and that's what we designed it to do. And like I said, we're keeping it as cheap as we can, as inexpensive as we can, so that guys have access to it. But it really does lead you through a journey, not just when the video's playing or when you're at your group each week or at the weekend, but there's also some additional questions in there for you to consider, right? So it's designed again to move guys into a space where they understand that the Good Man series is not just, a thing that you engage with and then move on and continue with your life unaffected. No, it's designed to impact your life. And what I'm really hopeful for, because I've been doing, as we've been working on this thing since November of last year, I think about it every day, not just in the context of creating the resource, but in the context of what it has to say. It just keeps it at the forefront of my mind. So that's what the journal, I think, I'm hopeful for, is that guys will engage with that journal, not just when they're meeting with their small group or at their weekend retreat, but I hope it ends up on nightstands, in quiet corners, wherever guys, sit and have their time with God.
Yeah, agreed. I am not a fan of the word curriculum.
Yeah.
If this gets relegated to curriculum, all right.
It just brings up pass, fail. I'm taking a class.
It's not a class, right? It's this invitation to an exploration of things, and I want to hit them. I mean, I want to talk about the journey. I mean, there's this invitation to freedom. That's how we welcome. That's the first. That's the first episode, and then we can't do anything without talking about the larger story. That's just Zoe. That's us. The map, the larger story that your story's in, a context of your story.
You got to get the "you are here," right? Orientation,
and to invite men to see, as we've talked about many times. I mean, we did a whole series on the map. But if you don't see the larger story that your story's in, it will be impossible for you to make sense of your story. And so there's 2 realms, there's 2 kingdoms. So that's the second session, which I love that we do that, because that is a part of orientation. Do you know where you are, really? Do you know you're being hunted? Do you know that there is an enemy, that there's a threat that is absolutely hell-bent on not only hurting and wounding you, but hurting and wounding the Father, because you're his. Because you're the image bearer. Because he's hurting you. It's diabolical.
You have a contract out on you.
It's diabolical, and yet so many men don't know, and yet we find that there's an amazing amount that once they hear that session and that, I knew it. I knew it. This. Give me my goggles so I can see this.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Matrix. He's starting to believe, right? I mean, he's starting to see. So then the third session is about the false self, which you've been writing about
which is exciting. And what would you say about that session that, just in a couple sentences, that's so important? Why is this the third session?
I just think, man, adopting a position and a posture of examination is part of what makes a man good, right?
Yeah.
So being willing to say, I wonder what it is about that circumstance that keeps coming up, that stirs up something to me, that generates this response.
Energy.
That's so over the top.
Energy
I
over
mean,
the top, right?
that's just one example, but an examined life.
Or I cower.
Or I retreat. Or
passivity.
Exactly. However it manifests, right? This thing that you know is not you, right? Because, and I'm not even saying, there's a lot of guys that don't even know that it's not them. They don't know about the true self, false self. They don't know any of that.
Right.
But they know that they have this response that they can't not engage. And it just comes up out of them.
And therefore cannot control, right? The fruit
It controls them. They don't control it.
The fruit, the last characteristic of the fruit of the Spirit, right? I don't know if it's a banana, an orange, or an apple.
Yeah.
But is self-control.
Yeah.
And many of us men, we suffer from a lack of it.
Right.
And so this false self creature, this is our attempt to explain Romans 7.
Exactly.
And
I do the things
so
I don't want to
see
do,
it,
and
right.
I don't do the things I want to. And what I love about the session too, and some of what I've been just exploring, is being able to see it. I mean, you might say, well, I know I broke my leg because it hurts like hell. Well, you don't know how you've broken it, how badly you've broken it. There's a pain there
that you're living with
or
right.
experiencing,
right.
but you don't know what's behind it or what caused it or what's even the remedy. How do I need to set that? Is it just an air cast or do I need surgery? So if you can start to see this thing called the false self, then you start to be able to move towards it, right? And hopefully the journey of that, and it's not as simple as putting a cast on your leg and waiting 6 weeks. However, I would say if you can start to see it, you can start to move towards relief.
Yeah.
And not experiencing that pain.
Yeah, the false self has a power, has a source of power, and it's the next session. And all of us have been hit. All of us have been wounded. All of us have been hurt and bruised at a heart level by those who probably meant good, but didn't do good, or
worst case scenario, they meant harm.
Yeah, that's awful, and they have stories too. I'm talking about parents and coaches and adults and teachers that have had access to our formative years, and so I haven't met a man. I haven't met one that doesn't have some stories of wounding when they were shamed or embarrassed or diminished, accused, betrayed. I mean, even as boys.
Yeah.
And so where does that go? It grows into something.
Yes, it metastasizes.
This character,
almost like a cancer.
This character that we're talking about, the
Yeah.
false self. So we start with the false self, then we move the next session into wound, and then like our friend came up to us some years ago. You're going to tell us how to get better, right?
Yeah. We're not just going to leave me on
here.
the gurney.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're like, of course, we're going to explore, the healing. How does healing take place? And if wounding took place in a moment, then healing can take place. But there needs to be an experience, an encounter, we believe, with God. Just awareness that it's broken is not the same as seeing that broken part of our hearts healed.
Yeah.
And so I love that sequence of false self wound and then healing the wound.
Yeah.
And then we get to take men into all of that so we can then have the next session.
Well, before you move to the next session, I just have to say the thing I love about that progression, the larger story, the false self, the wounding, the healing, that is not like we said earlier, it's not a one and done. Well, I went through it once and now I'm healed. You get to go through it over and over and over again. And it's like reading the chapters of a book, man.
Yeah.
You don't read the first chapter and say, well, that was a great book.
Yeah.
And put it away.
Yeah.
You got to keep reading.
Something from my domestic life I could use for this wound, false self thing would be spring's here. I'm growing weeds like it's my job, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If I don't tend to this, I just have this overgrown, and then the dandelions are now coming. So if you think of your heart.
And did you spread the seeds?
No.
Where'd they come from?
I mean,
who knows where? Right? They just get on you.
Yeah. They travel on the wind. They travel on the breeze.
Yep.
They come from the neighbor's yard. Which is still very true for this metaphor that I'm talking about. And so, if I don't get those at the root, they're going to stay. And so I have to engage and do something. You can spray them all too.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst idea, but it's at the same time, when I think about this challenge, it's seasonal. And that's why I'm saying back to, you have to go through this again and again. Once you learn how to maintenance, and once you realize, you know what, you're going to have to rake it all up. You're going to have to pull it. You can't pull it. You got to get it. It's got to be wet.
Yeah.
There's just conditions to all this.
Yeah.
So my point is, SJ, that if your heart is a garden, you're going to have to garden. You're going to have to, with Jesus, who knows a thing or two about gardening in the heart. He will walk with you into these places that need tending to. And so as we move from those sessions, then we get to move to the good news. Okay, if this isn't true,
right?
If the false self and the
false.
wounding that's happened, that's caused my strategies to cope, my strategies to promote, my strategies to hide, all these things that aren't good. Galatians 5 talks about the flesh and the false self. We use that synonymously. Well, the more you get free of that, okay, if that's not true, what my dad said about me, or what my coach, said about me, or what my friend, all of that's not true. What is true?
Yeah, you have to fill in.
And to go to God.
Once you take the false away.
And to go to God for that, the image that you bear, to go to God who loves you, wanted one of you, created you. Now you can see what's been in the way of receiving his love, and now you can go to him for that love, and in that, he's going to introduce you to you. Yeah. Because you are untangled from this thing. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, one of the things, thank you for saying it that way, one of the things that I have been really wrapped up in recently is we're not kind of trying to say, here's your false self. You need a new you. You need to find the new you. There can be, I guess, a way of thinking that would be true, but really what you're discovering is who you've been all along.
And getting the things off of you
exactly
that aren't
right.
you.
You're not becoming something else. You're unbecoming what you're not.
Yeah, you know what the word?
There's a difference.
You know what the word for that is? Freedom. You're getting free from that.
Right.
So you can be free to be me.
Yep.
And so that's a wonderful idea, and not just idea. That's a wonderful reality that we're going to talk about in these other 3 sessions and explore more of how that's even worked. How have we experienced that? Yeah. But once you start to see the true self and okay, now we're moving with Jesus, in that part of our journey, he's going to introduce you to this the next session we have, which is your glory. Yeah. And small g, he has the capital G glory. We've done podcasts on this. Yep. We have series on this.
Our friend Gary Barklow wrote a book called It's Your Call.
He is the Yoda of these tenets. But to know that what you do isn't who you are, but you actually bring the true self and the glory of who you are to what you do. Yep. That started to set me free from the performance life that my whole life was inundated with up until I was 38. Even in church and Christianity, I brought far more of that perspective. I brought far more of that attitude and perspective and belief into my walk with God.
Sure.
And rather than the ability to be a loved boy, I opted for being a good boy and hopefully being rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a wonderful as those last sessions come in the Good Man series. That's what we don't get tired of talking about it. Mm-mm. We don't get tired of exploring it in new seasons and chapters of our lives and stories in our marriages, in our parenting. These are the key, if not critical, elements to what it is to be a man who's living oriented, walking oriented, and loving and leading others from a place of settledness. That's what orientation really, really looks like. And so, the final, because that's the final session, I'm setting it up. Well, what do you do with all that? Well, you take it home.
Yeah.
You however fractured or broken your home is, 2 divorces, split families, stepkids, half children. I mean, whatever it all is.
Healing, training, repeat, buddy. Healing, training,
you take
repeat.
it home to the place that you are. Mm-hmm. You have been assigned to love these image bearers, these people.
Yeah, and not in the, like we've talked about at the end of the weekend. Like, okay, kids, everything's going to be different.
I went through the Good Man series.
I'm a good man now. Everything's new. No.
You don't have to announce it.
Just go and be different.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Just go and be different.
Yeah.
Live differently. Don't stop the journey. Keep moving. Continue into something. I mean, you could literally, I could see it because I'm in a couple of different groups of guys.
Yeah.
Finish it. Take a week. Go through your journals, 2 weeks, go through your journals, share what God showed to each one of you along the way that you hadn't had time to share, and start over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
really,
I think this has the possibility and maybe the opportunity to be a force in the redeeming of generational masculinity.
Sure enough.
Because when men who are fathers become oriented, become settled, then we've seen it. We've seen it over the last decade. They've brought their 16-year-olds or 17-year-olds, and now they're 27, right, and 26 into and we're watching them. We're watching them live. Not only their children live differently, but they continue a legacy that really, they understand it. It's not accidental,
right? It's
not incidental, right? But on purpose, they start to see the legacy. As we just finished the Father Matters series, I mean, there were pieces of that came from, we were making this video series at the same time. So I'm so hopeful that that this can be. That it can. I know Caleb's going to work hard at it. You are too. But that this can be in a distribution system of masculine hearts.
Yeah.
Men that will hold a space for this, push play, watch that together, and take notes, get into their journals, and then, like we're going to try to do in the next 3 episodes, share some stories, share some answers to some of the questions
from the journey
that we put in the journal workbook, because we're on it too. We I'm not sure I would even call us experts, but I would say we've learned, we've seen.
Yeah, it makes me think of Groundhog Day. He's like, maybe God is just, he's been around so long, that's why he's so wise. He remembers everything and seen it all. And so so we're not experts to the way you're thinking, but maybe we've been walking this road a while, man, and sometimes we trip up and stub our toes on stuff. And
what I want to answer to that now that comes to me, but we're good men, on a good journey with a great God, and we wanted to share that
right
with as many men as possible, because I don't think we are, nor should we be the exceptions.
No.
But
No.
I think there has to be a roadmap. You know, there has to be some good equipment, and there has to be some brothers that you can move with on that journey, and that's what the Good Man series is about.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you're tired, if you're frustrated, if you're worn out with religion,
Yeah.
right? Maybe there's something more that you can engage with, and hear some truth. Some of it might be hard to engage in,
But it's an invitation.
Yeah,
not a condemnation,
absolutely.
not a chest
It's
poke.
a wooing. It's
Right.
because this is biblically based. We take
Yeah,
we adopt that. And we're going to talk about that in
Yep.
the next episode. But we adopt that posture. Hopefully, we try that Jesus has, and just say, "Come on,
Yeah.
let's just walk together a while."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and hopefully this facilitates that and that posture and that culture
Yeah.
for men all over the country
And the world.
and it's free.
Yeah, that's what's
know?
fun. Yeah.
So,
Some of our partners and folks who resource us have enabled us to do it, which is so encouraging, humbling, and exciting. So
yeah. So as we land this episode, I want to say, if you're interested in hearing more about the Good Man series, first and foremost, go to thegoodmanseries.com. If you are interested in becoming one of those partners that helps to crowdfund initiatives like the Good Man series and resources like the Good Man series, go to zoe.org/give.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There's a
Because we're not stopping with this one.
No.
We just got this one released, so I want to focus on it for a while. But we got other stuff coming too.
I want to wrap, and then next session we'll step into some more passages. But here's one of the core passages of this, and I love this from the parables that Jesus of the sower and the seeds. This is Matthew 12 and Luke 6.
Mm-hmm.
A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart. So it's possible.
Oh,
It's possible to be a good man.
yeah. It's designed to work that way.
And with the help of the Trinity, it is absolutely possible.
Mm-hmm.
Not a perfect man,
No.
and yet one who can love and lead well. And this is why we made the Good Man series. So
That's right.
thank you for being with us on the Exploring More podcast, part 1 of the 4-part series known as the Good Man series here on Exploring More. We'll see you next time.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Exploring More. The landing page for this podcast is zoe.org/podcast. That's ZOWEH.org/podcast, where you can find the show notes and various platforms to which we broadcast. You can also find us and the Life of More by visiting Zoe on YouVersion Bible app, Right Now Media, our Facebook page, and Zoe on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, with God there is always more, and you were made for more.